Hey guys, this is MB Cash, and today it's a beautiful, wonderful day over here at Wiest Lake in Brawley, California. Now you're probably wondering, why am I here? Well, the reason why I'm here at the lake is because I'm here to review my newest item, and it is this guy right over here. This is my newest custom Jason mask, and I thought this would be a great location, being Jason and Friday the 13th and all, to do this review. So let's go ahead and get right down to it. So this is a custom mask that I made myself, and this was created not using those cheap made in China masks that you can get on eBay like I did for my part 3 mask. This was made from a remake blank that I got from JDF Studios, and it is just a fantastic piece. For this mask, I wanted to do a little something different, and instead of working with just those cheap masks that you can get on eBay, I wanted to do something that was a little bit more high quality and something that was more like the films. So that's why I went with a JDF Studios blank. And the reason why I chose the remake is because personally it is one of my favorite masks in the franchise. I love the shape of the remake Hawk, just the ovalness and just everything. So I decided to go with that one. I was contemplating on getting a Mortal Kombat X blank, but the only problem is the MKX blank has 2 deep scars on the surface of the mask, and I probably would have needed to fill those with Bondo or something, and I just didn't want to do that. So I decided to go with the remake blank, and it worked out really well. So this mask is going to be the one I'm going to be wearing with my Jason cosplay at San Diego Comic-Con this summer. I know I said in my part 3 mask review that I was going to be wearing that one. So you're probably thinking, wait a minute, I thought you were going to wear your part 3 hockey mask to Comic-Con. Well, here's what happened. When I was working on my part 3 mask, I began to have a change of heart because I remembered that the purpose of my cosplay was not to go for any specific look from any of the films. I wanted to go for my own personal interpretation. So I figured having to go with an original mask, something that's not from the films, my own design, would make more sense. So that doesn't necessarily mean that my remake, or I'm sorry, my part 3 mask was for nothing. It was definitely a fun project, and it gave me confidence to work on other masks and showed that this is something that I am capable of doing. In fact, if anything, the part 3 mask was really the door opener for many more masks, including this one. So when it came time to finally work on the mask that I would be wearing at Comic-Con, I decided to go on to JDF Studios and purchase the blank. Now, unfortunately, the blanks that JDF Studios offers do not come with all the holes drilled out. I know in the past he did offer pre-cut blanks, meaning all the holes are drilled out, the eye holes are cut out and everything. But because it's so much work that goes into that, he's now just offering just the regular raw blanks. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say raw, because at least the mask shapes themselves are cut out, but just the eye holes and the vent holes are not drilled out. You have to do that yourself if you ever buy one of those blanks. And at the moment, I do not have any of the tools necessary for the job. So what I did was I had Jeffrey over at JDF Studios send the blank over to Crash Cunningham at Crash Creations. I got into contact with Crash before I made my purchase and asked if he would be able to help me. And he was willing to do so, which was really awesome. So Crash, thank you once again for that. I just can't thank you enough. So Crash was able to drill out all the holes. And I told him that I did not want the bottom holes on the cheeks where the bottom snaps would usually go, because for this one I wasn't going to need them, because again, this was my own original design, and for my design it doesn't have the bottom snaps. So those are the only holes that are left out, but everything else he took care of. And once I got it in the mail, I was just blown away. I was really happy with the craftsmanship of both Crash and JDF Studios. So once I got the blank, I started with the initial work, and it only took a couple of days. So this is what the mask looks like. So you can see here, it's got a really unique design. You'll notice the paint has some crackling in certain areas, and that was intentional. For the purpose of the look for this mask was basically I wanted this one to have a actual goalie mask feel. So what I did was I went on Google and I researched images of some real goalie masks from the 1970s and 80s, and I looked up the ones that actually show their wear and tear, like they've actually been through a lot when they were worn in several games, and they all have these really deep scratches and paint chipping away in certain areas, pretty much like if they were hit in the face a bunch of times with the puck. So that's the look I wanted to go for. I came up with this really interesting backstory. I came up with this story that this mask was once worn by a professional hockey goalie, and he had it in his collection with all of the rest of his hockey memorabilia, and unfortunately he met his demise at the hands of Jason. And once Jason saw his mask, he liked what he saw and he took it, and the rest is history. So I wanted to give it a very vintage feel. So in order to achieve that, I decided to add the crackling effect. And the way I did that was after I applied my primer and my acrylic black base coat, I then went over the entire surface of the mask with some folk art crackle medium, let that dry, and then I proceeded to add my off-white color. It was basically a mixture of some pure white, some vintage or old white. Yeah, vintage white, I believe, is the color. It's a bit of a yellowish kind of cream color, and then a little bit of granite gray. So just mixed all those three colors together and make somewhat of an old off-white color. And then once I applied that, the crackle medium took effect, and all over some areas of the mask, the paint started to crack, which is exactly what I was going for. And then I painted the chevrons, and the chevrons have a bit of that cracked look, as you can see here. Not as much as the initial surface of the mask, but they're there. And then I decided to add some scratches, and basically to do that, I took a Q-tip, wet it, so that way the acrylic paint can absorb the water, rubbed it on the areas where I wanted the deep scratches, and then I took a little blade and just started scratching away, and that's how I got all these nicks and scratches. And then once all that was done, I took a damp rag and mixed up a dirty color of mainly black and brown, and just started applying all of my weathering on this mask. So it really looks like it's been through the ringer. It looks really beat up. And once that was all done, put my clear coat on. This time I went with the satin clear coat because I didn't want this to be too shiny. I want it's some kind of a sheen, but not too heavy. So not a gloss. So I went with the clear satin this time, gave it a couple of coats. And once that was dry, I added on my straps. And these straps I made myself. These were just made from elastic that I got at Joann Fabrics, and then added the snaps. This is what the back looks like. I really love the texture from these blanks. I believe this is, I want to say this is ABS plastic, but I could be wrong. It could be styrene, but I think it's ABS plastic. Definitely much more better quality than the cheap made in China masks that you can get on eBay. And of course, I consider this a work of art, so got to put my little John Hancock there. So I'm really, really happy with the way this mask turned out. And one of the neat things about not worrying. Well, I did have to worry about some parts about making this mask, but the neat thing about working with this mask was throughout the entire process, I actually did some live Instagram videos of basically going through all the initial steps from the sanding all the way down to applying the straps. So it was really cool getting to do that on my Instagram live, so that way people who follow me could really get to see what I do in terms of making these masks. And unfortunately, those live videos are no longer available. But however, if you are following me on Instagram, you can check out my highlighted story, where at least I do highlight the steps into making this mask. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at NB_cash. And you can check out my story highlights there. I'll even provide a link to where you can find... Sorry, there's a bug on me. I'll even provide a link to where you can find some of these really cool blanks at JDF Studios. JDF Studios offers a variety of blanks from the different movies, such as Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, all the way to the remake, and even the Mortal Kombat X mask. So if this is something you're interested in, if you want to work on making your own custom mask and you want to go with the JDF Studios blank, then I'll definitely provide a link so that way you can check him out. And he also has other tools such as chevron decals, stencils for the chevrons in case you want to paint them instead of just using decals, and straps for your masks. So I'll definitely be providing a link to JDF Studios so that way you can use that in case you're interested. So once again, I am very, very happy with this mask. I think I did a really excellent job, and I like the creativeness the creative approach I took with this mask in terms of coming up with my own unique design. And I'm definitely looking forward to wearing this mask at Comic-Con this summer. And the cool thing is I'm going to be wearing this with a hood underneath. So I know when I originally came up with the idea of cosplaying as Jason, I was never intending on really going all out, but since working on my Part 3 mask, I changed my mind. So I'm going to be getting a custom hood made by Steve Bellamy over at the Devil's Latex, and I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going with the Freddy vs. Jason look. However, instead of going with that exact look in terms of the color and everything, I'm going to go for a custom look. It's basically going to be the Freddy vs. Jason hood, but with a normal flesh tone, and there's going to be some veins here and there, and of course there's going to be the tufts of hair. So I think it's going to really complete the ensemble. And I'm also working on getting a custom machete made out of foam, because no Jason cosplay is complete without a machete, and I understand it has to be con friendly, so I think foam is the way to go. So I'm going to be contacting a friend of mine to make the foam prop machete so that way I can have that with me. So I think this cosplay is going to look great, and this mask is definitely going to be, I think, going to be the centerpiece of that cosplay. So really love the way this mask turned out, and I'm really glad I was able to come all the way here to the lake just to do this video, because I just couldn't think of a better setting. And this is the first time I've ever done a review video on location. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any comments, any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, guys, May you all have a wonderful day. God bless.